I think we are live.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. We're back again with Planet Media House is back again with an amazing webinar on the topic of role of an edupreneur. Before we get into the topic of a webinar, we are here with Planet. What is Planet? We are an independent media house that offers reliable source of news, information, and articles. Planet Media House also offers genuine experience across an excellent portfolio of media, video, articles, interviews, events in digital and social media platforms. We also help our audience understand the vast and diverse news. Media will also thrive a change on innovation to crafting transformative experience. Well, the topic of the particular today of crafting transformative experience is role of a webinar, role of an edupreneur, and our first speaker would be Himangi Mishra, who is the founder of Nirmukta, is also an edupreneur, ambience mindset coach, keynote speaker, writer, educationist, and an advocate of self-relevant India. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaskar. Thank you so much, Danish. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction that you've given. Namaskar to all the viewers. Yes, of course. This is Himangi A. Mishra, Himangi Arora Mishra. Just to shorten the middle name, we call it Himangi A. Mishra. So thank you so very much for introducing me here. Thank you for the platform that you've given me. And today, as we are heading towards the edupreneurship, the role of an edupreneur in this testing time is really important, that I believe. So starting from the introduction itself, I am the founder director of Nirmukta, Nurturing Curious Minds. As the name suggests, I genuinely talk about nurturing the curious minds. As an educationist, this is something which I have understood as the essence of education, that if we have the essence of nurturing whatever is there as a curiosity, I think that's the best thing as an entrepreneur, as an educationist, anybody can do, because this is not the time of facilitation, this is not the time of teaching. The time has come where we should genuinely talk about mentorship, where we should genuinely talk about having the specific relationship of a student and a mentor. So starting from a very simple line that was heard a few months back, and that was, "Tu khud ki khoj mein nikal, tu kis liye hatash hai." खुद की खोज में निकल, तू किस लिए हताश है, तू चल तेरे वजूद को समय को भी तलाश है, तू चल तेरे वजूद की समय को भी तलाश है. And that is exactly what the time was telling us. The clock was ticking. It is very important for us to realize that education and entrepreneurship are two different things. Once merged, is one of the finest and the potential industry throughout across the world. When I talk about entrepreneurship, if I talk about education and merging it together, we come to a term, as Dhanush said, edupreneur. That is what I call myself, because everything, if we talk about finances, if we talk about economy, if we talk about developing country, we have to have this very important, significant platform in our own hands. Until and unless each and every youth, each and every person start believing that, yes, there is the potential in me, then the country will grow. Because not even a single molecule can be into existence without the strong bond of atoms getting together. So there has to be a strong bond, which can definitely be through the enability, by getting enabled, and that enable thing will definitely come with education. So with open arms, we have to have the enability through technology. So when I talk about technology, when I talk about education, when I talk about opening up the arms, and I with open arms call for AI, that is artificial intelligence, that people, schools, colleges, universities are talking about. The time has been changing and the time will change for sure. But where are we? If we will stay and if we'll try to recreate something, it is not going to help. We have to have the understanding that we have to accept change before getting into change management. People are talking abundantly about change management, but when will you do the change management? Only when you accept the change. So the acceptance of the change will eventually lead to the change management. And with that, if I talk about entrepreneurship, if I talk about the entrepreneurship, you have to have the understanding that you have to know each and every nook and corner of your industry. So we should never just pounce upon here and there. You have to have the understanding. I am sure we all are, Bollywood lovers. And a long time back, when I was, I think, in teenage, there was a movie that was of Akshay Kumar, that was Chandni Chowk to China. So Chandni Chowk to China, and that is a beautiful movie with a beautiful message. And you know with that, I'll come to the story, because being an educationist, the story is something which I find a very beautiful tool. I can teach and I can let the person understand everything. So Chandni Chowk to China, I was just watching a few days back, because going on a lighter note, at the end, the mentor, he says, whatever you have learned might not help you. Whatever you have developed or learned from different portals might not help you. The only thing that will help you will be the practiced skill that you have practiced in the due course of time. So you have to master the art of practicing. Karat karat abhyas, so you need to grow by practicing, and you need to have the practice, getting nurtured, getting abundance with that. When you nurture your practice, when you keep practicing, you master the art. And that is what we call as edupreneurship, or we call it education, because until and unless we are not educating ourselves, we are not practicing that, we cannot grow. आप आप अलग अलग जगह कुआं नहीं खोद सकते, गड्ढे खुदेंगे, फिर कुआं नहीं खुदेगा, और किसी ना किसी दिन आप खुद ही उसी गड्ढे में ही गिरोगे. So you cannot do that. You have to have a skill developed, mastered, nurtured. There are abundance of examples. If I talk about a diamond, every carbon can't be, transformed into a diamond. And every piece of raw carbon cannot be converted into diamond. It has to go through a certain process. And this is that time. This is the time of preparation. This is the very time where you have to go under that pressure, that heat, to become a diamond. But for that, you have to be ready. You have to accept the fact that the time is changing. You have to get into the furnace. You have to get into the darkness, so that you can come up brightly. Like I have my logo as Nirmukta's, Aham Brahmasmi. You can easily see, Dhanush, that is a golden, bright golden color of the logo, and that and every time I come across with people and they say, ma'am, why do you have a black background of your logo? It should not be black. And I always say, that gold, beautifully complement white, but will only shine when the background is dark. You have to go through that background. You have to go through that dark time. You have to see the tough time to genuinely shine in the light. So until and unless you're not ready for that, you cannot go through it. I was just going through a newspaper today, and I have seen the entire industry when we were talking about open the school, close the school, change the curriculum, adapt the things, and people are coming with certain beautiful ideas. Papers should be postponed. You should not be taking the major examinations. And we are simultaneously we are talking about digital India, we are talking about AI, we are talking about softwares, and we are simultaneously telling and compelling our government to tell that major examinations should not happen. Boards must happen, but the major examination, the competitive examinations must not happen. How do you think that this is going to help India? This is not going to help us. We have to have the hand holding of each other. We have to have the understanding that we have to come up. So coming back to the fact that today, on the occasion of National Sports Day on 29th August, our education minister, Mr. Pokhriyal, is actually there in Sonipat inaugurating a school which has recreated, redefined its COVID safe structure. In the span of 3 or 4 months, when the entire industry people were cribbing about things, the entire management of Little Angel School, they have kept their energies and they have drafted and structured the complete campus. And mind it, it's not a small campus, it's a huge campus. And they have recreated each and every part, and they have recreated the things. I am sure there will be certain angles of finances, business, things, resources, but we have to identify that. And there comes handholding, collaboration, spoke hub concepts and everything. So we as an industry of educationists and educational institutions, organizations, we have to understand our responsibilities if we genuinely want to come up to a place where we need power in our hands. Power cannot come without the responsibility. You cannot accept that you will be powerful because without taking up responsibility. So if we genuinely want that the power should be given in our hands, we have to have, one, the education, second, the enability, third, the dedication and diligence to work, you know laboriously, because we have to acknowledge the fact that we are the one of the very progressive and youth country in the world. So each and every person in the country has to have that sense of responsibility. And one, I think if 100,000 lakhs people have started thinking in this very manner, each and every youth, young mind start thinking in this very manner, can we genuinely think that India will be somewhere, striving and looking forward to solutions out of the country? I think there is abundance in our country. There is abundance on our land. We are the fertile. Just see the newspaper, 25% excess of rainfall. We have to just identify how we need to balance the resources. There are certain lands where there is no rainfall, and there are certain lands where there is flood, but we have to manage that. And for that, young children, young entrepreneurs, people who are looking for jobs here and there, they have to understand they have been provided with good education. Tell me tell me any of the IAS, PCS, and the leader in the world who is an Indian, who has gone through something new. They have all passed out from the same universities, colleges and things. It's just that we need to identify that we can't keep on buttering, we can't keep on just taking the advantage of whatever resources we have. We have to have the open, we have to have that open forum for everybody to come in. The time has come where collaboration and inclusion will be the pillar of the society. If we are not collaborating, if we are not able to have the team spirit, sports day पे हम ये discussion कर रहे हैं, I think sports give us the abundance of these kind of traits as a person. If we become a sports person, if we are a sports person even at heart, even if I'm not on field, I have that sportsman spirit and in myself, I think leaders will be there. And there cannot be any reason for India to lag behind, and the education system to lag behind, because we have enough resource. It's just that we need to harness the resources. It's just that. So I will end up my talk with that particular point, where I'll say there was a Dronacharya for Arjun, for sure. He was the facilitator, he was the educationist, he was the educator for Arjun. But to lead Mahabharata, he wanted and he needed mentor, and there came Krishna. With that, everything could have happened with Dronacharya and Krishna. They both needed one Arjun to lead Mahabharata. So it's about the relationship of a student and a mentor. until and unless we start believing this is the system of education, this is the essence of the education, each and every teacher, educationist, organization, institute, school, college, university, if we start inculcating this culture in the organizations, I think there will not be any problem with the education system, whether you do it in the rural area or an urban. अगर एक teacher mentor बन जाए और बच्चों की गलतियां निकालने की जगह उन्हें नर्चर करना शुरू कर दे, उनके क्वेश्चंस को आइडेंटिफाई करना शुरू कर दे, आई थिंक देयर इज नो वेयर वी लैग बिहाइंड. There is abundance of resource in our system. And with the last thing, we have to have the science getting integrated with spirituality, because all the mentors, all the scientists, all the people, leaders, those who have created their names in the history of science, they have been philosophers. So we should not be bifurcating all that, and that is what NEP has brought. That is what people on the in the system they are talking about, and we have been talking about all this. It's just by God's grace we are getting acknowledgement for all those concepts and things. So I believe, being an entrepreneur, being an educationist, I have this particular thought process in my mind that we need mentors, we need abundance of mentors, and we will get abundance of Arjunas throughout the country for sure. And with that, I'll just say namaskar. And the humbleness and the grounded part should always be there. And with that, there is a quote which we always tell to our students, that keep your eyes on stars but feet on the ground. And once we have that humbleness, that Arjuna earned, he earned his mentorship. He was not given. Krishna was not biased. He earned his mentorship. So for every young child to be Arjun, you have to have that humble approach towards learning, towards the acceptance, towards the growth. And there has to be a burning desire to be successful. You have to have that hunger to be successful, but the ultimate goal is to be happily successful. So don't get demotivated. Don't get, if one thing didn't work, I should not be doing it. You have to see all the nook and corners, and there you have to practice and master the art of perfection. So it is very, very important for all those entrepreneurs who are striving in the world around yourself. Find out solutions. Be the solution seeker. Don't be a problem seeker. And once you'll be the problem seeker, everything everywhere will be dark. Once you'll start finding solutions, every keyhole will give you abundance of light and abundance of hope. And trust me, faith leads us to anywhere, wherever we want to, any milestone, any kind of achievement which we want. It's just the faith in ourselves that should be reflected out. So with that, I'll just close my session. Thank you so very much, Dhanush, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this very special day of National Sports Day and representing myself as an entrepreneur. And I wish and I promise that you will definitely see me as a very, very successful entrepreneur. Namaskar.
That was really an amazing talk with the particular topic of a role of an entrepreneur. I really liked about the instance which you shared on the particular education system which has been happening right day. And you also mentioned about a few spirituality lines about Arjuna, Krishna, where you actually remember and you actually went back, took us back to the particular theory, saying that the mentorship started since long ago, and without a mentor, none of the student can be successful. And yes, thank you so much for remembering the spiritual lines, and you were actually right on the particular statements. But I do have many questions for you waiting down. As you also mentioned about the particular education curriculum, I guess you have heard about it, and we're all excited to get that been executing by the particular government. How do you think this particular curriculum of the new education system, 5+3+3 in all the schools, how do you think this will be executed? And do you think this will be a much better curriculum than the before ones? If yes, why? If no, why?
I think here I will say one very important thing is that NEP is just that, you know, understanding of the fact that everything has its own importance. Nobody is saying that the earlier one, what we were doing, was wrong. Neither they are saying the new thing has come. It's just that they have redefined the things. While we were talking about humanities earlier, it's just the mindset they are going to work on. And I think that was a very long to be acknowledged thing. Very, very, we have been striving for it since long. आपको क्या लगता है preschools अभी बने हैं इंडिया में? It's been, decades. People have actually brought up the concept of preschool education system, and we had the anganwadis in the system, we had the bal bhavans in the system. It's just that people didn't know. You cannot compare unawareness with something which is not in existence. If I have not seen Japan, it does not mean it does not exist. If I have not studied some very important programs in our own system, that does not mean it is not in existence. Where do you think that there is no agricultural department in India? It was there, it is there, but it's just the matter of fact that there is a certain inclination. We have to understand that. Why I quoted Krishna Arjuna? Because we as Indians had always had this in our country. It's just the problem with wherein a certain span of time we have got that inclination towards the Western or the global approach towards the things. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है कि ये था नहीं, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि कुछ नया आया है एनईपी में. अगर आप ध्यान से उसे पढ़ेंगे तो अगर वो कहते हैं कि आप साइंसेस, कॉमर्स और ह्यूमैनिटीज को एक ही स्टैंडर्ड पे लो, तो डेफिनेटली इट इज देयर. It is there, and it was there. It's just about the mindset. And what happens, Danush? There are a lot of rituals in our country. I am an educationist, and I am a person who always relate to a very lower unit. Come make the problem come to its ground level, you will understand thing, and then you can relate to it. So अगर आप मुझसे बोल रहे हो ये कि एनपी ने कुछ नया लाया है, मुझे अब तक, frankly speaking, I have read the entire document thrice, or rather 4 times. I cannot find any reason people telling that this is a new thing. It's just that they have acknowledged the long pending scenarios that were already in existence. This is my approach as a person, as an entrepreneur, as an educationist, that everything I had been striving that the gardening should be there, because this is how you mark compassion to the children. But unfortunately, agar we have to understand this. In our country, innate immunity had never been a problem until and unless the younger generation, they have started talking about the children should not touch mud. Ma'am, please bring clay to the ground, to the school. Why should I bring clay to the school? I don't understand any reason, because it genuinely gives a child a particular kind of immunity development that is required. It gives the child the inability to develop the motor and the fine motor skills that is required. Because I am trying to turn fancy, I am not realizing the significance of something that was there in our own culture. You just go through any domain, you talk about food, you talk about music, you talk about education system, any damn thing, we had all in our country. Now they are talking about music therapy. Every South Indian family, I believe, has a culture to be, to master at least either in vocal or instrument, or in, what do you call it, a dance form, right? Every North Indian, is family who they that is what I said. You have to have your feet rooted. You cannot be, you cannot try to go on, fly in the sky without having your own ground. You can't leave your ground like that. Tell me any state without a dance culture, without a vocal, instrument in our hands. Now, if I say that, ma'am, I'm giving you a new therapy, which is a musical therapy, I'm sorry, I start laughing. I can't have risotto on the name of khichdi, or rather khichdi on the name of risotto. I can't do that. I know that I am preparing khichdi. I know that I am well aware of the fact that why khichdi was being served to the younger children. You tell it a soft diet, I tell khichdi. And that is the only thing. You have acknowledged and found it out right away. We have already had it. It's just a matter of fact that because of a certain gap that was marked, in the generations that was not transformed properly. हमारे घरों में चप्पल उतार के घर के अंदर आना was a culture, you know. Have you ever seen any rooted family without, without washing hands outside the house and getting into the house? No. But thanks to COVID, we are back to the roots. Otherwise, people were like, no, this is dehati, this is, this is like village type people. Aap haath bahar dho or chappal bahar utaro and then you get in. You're not civilized. What are you telling me now? We were not supposed to talk randomly while cooking, while preparing meals. Our mothers, our grandmothers, they always used to say, you should be calm. You should be eased down when you are preparing meals. Now you are talking about vibrations, aura, energies. We have been doing meditations since more than thousands of years. So this is one part. Now coming back to the same question that you asked, the curriculum. If I talk about curriculum, even I have to mark it very clearly. I have been an educator, a TGT, science and SST, both. I've got a chance to teach the children. I have never seen even a single educator, at least in my contact, those who have actually made an effort to genuinely take the students of class 7th and 8th to the laboratories and telling them and showing them how does the phosphorus look like, how does the copper sulfate look like, what is, when we talk about the reaction of rusting, or it is there in the books. It's only the lack of effort, and it's only the lack of the purposeful education that was transformed, that was supposed to be transformed. It's just a matter of fact that how the leaders are leading the system. As Alexander told that we have no problem when we have a sheep leading the group of tigers. If the problem comes where the tiger or the lion is led by the group of sheep. So you cannot ever imagine that just on the name of syllabus complete करना है. आप मुझे अभी बताओ ना 4 महीने पहले तक क्या हो रहा था. My students are striving. मैम syllabus complete नहीं हुआ है. Schools are telling कोई बात नहीं, 0 session declare हो जाएगा. आज आपको लग रहा है 0 session declare हो जाएगा तो कोई बात नहीं है. Do you still believe? I was never a scholar. I was never a 90% student. I'm sitting right in front of you and talking in front of you. I'm sure a lot many people are not IITians, IIM, graduates. But is there no significance? Instead, why should I give my freedom of change or the of something good to somebody else? If I get back to that same problem that you have marked me, that was the only reason why I quit the job and I entered the education system as an educationist, as an edupreneur, because I couldn't understand the fact that if a child is not good in mathematics, why there is so much of hype. The child is good is in English or any other subject, that's fine, and that is what the new policy is talking about. Because you cannot give a mindset to a person's own ability that if you are not a science student, you are a dumb or a duffer or not so good, or these kind of labels. You cannot label a child with these kind of statements, and that is the only problem. And that problem has been eradicated through NEP. I am sure execution and planning are two different spheres, and the planning if has done half, it is done. Once the thing is on paper, I am sure the execution will come. And the country like India, we are diversified. There will be difference of opinions throughout. It is there in the family of 4 or 5. Do you think there will not be any difference of opinion in the country where there are 29 states and more than 300 cities? People have the power. And the country like India, where we are in the democracy, we have all the kind of opinions coming in. But we have to think responsibly. If we genuinely have to, and we have to lead, if we want to lead. So curriculum is something which we cannot say is changed. Curriculum that was earlier happening was not wrong. It contained everything. A lot many spheres were not highlighted or not were not in the mainstream. There was physical education in the system. There are schools and colleges and organizations, rather big organizations. They were not in mainstream. People, those who were striving since more than a decade, now are being acknowledged. I think there is no problem in that. Sports authority, the chess federation, you talk about anything, the Paralympics. I have never seen a teacher talking about Olympic games with the students. But do you think it does not exist? It is. It's just that the new policy has shown some light on those spheres. They are showing the light on the possibilities, the possible areas a child can look forward to. Even today, if we talk about career counseling, people give you, ma'am, we are a career counselor. And when I say, sir, what are the options? Ma'am, you have 25 streams in engineering. And you're telling me engineering only, tell me something else. You know,
Yes,
I am giving you idli. I am giving you idli, dosa. I am giving you idli, stuffed idli. Then I'm giving you fried idli. Then I'm giving you different thing. Give me something else. I'm asking for something else. So you have to have the knowledge and awareness. The only problem that we have here is the lack of awareness, and the new policies and this very testing time, what we are calling it as, has given us the opportunity to look around, to see the world. We had all in our culture that we are looking around and we are finding it beautiful, glorious. It's just of fact, it's just a matter of fact that we have to identify our own skills and our own strengths, and then we have to work accordingly. The new policy has nothing where you will say that they have changed. They have genuinely shown light. They have drafted that particular policy in a way where people can genuinely understand the significance of abundance of opportunities that we have in our country. The rural areas are striving because they have to have the transformation. Why not a sustainable village in the area? Why can't an industrialist or people who are talking about the things where we are talking about giving orphanages a place, giving old age homes a place, why not giving them proper knowledge to recreate or nurture something?
just because of the particular system which has been happening the right way. Yes, I agree with all the points which you've been having in a particular conversation. It's actually very interesting, and it's actually impressive, and it's also informative about the topic which we've been having a conversation right today on the particular webinar. But yes, the new curriculum had shown up what is there deep inside. We dig up the old stuff which was just closed down, but some dust things which about called as engineer or some other only mainly specified graduating stuff, where we're just meant to be saying that engineer, doctor, or a commerce field. Only three streams are being given out, but we were not given a plate full of Rajasthani meals. That is what I would like to say.
And that I'll add this to you. I'll add one more part. Psychology, economics, these are the subjects that have been always in a certain domain, and these are the things which you give to the MBA students at the edge of their higher education. This should have been added much earlier to actually inculcate those life skills. Now I can see and feel that we are talking about, why do we need to talk about equality? Why can't we talk about equity? हम
Yes.
हमेशा कहते हैं फिंगर्स 5 हैं, सब एक जैसी नहीं होती. ये रटी रटाई लाइंस की जगह अगर हम अपने घरों में, अपने सिस्टम्स में, अपनी यूनिट में उसको यूटिलाइज करना स्टार्ट कर दें. Why I want a fish to just climb up a tree?
Yes.
If his or her strength is in water, why not harness it in water?
Correct, ma'am, for sure. Yes.
So I think the new policy has just done that. I think there is no change. For me, at least, there is no change.
For sure, yes, I would actually agree with those points also. When we talk about the psychology and the economics which have been meant, I would also add up on this. Rather than this both, I would like to add a particular subject called basic human values, which should be taught majorly for every student right today, because we're actually missing them. Yes, and there is an interesting conversation to be part, and we still have another co-panelist. Let's have an interactive session with him.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being on Planet Media House. We'll surely get back on time. We will surely get back. Let's stay tuned. And now I would like to call upon the next panelist of the particular webinar on role of entrepreneur, who is Dr. Balachandra, who is an educationalist and a career coach, project director, operation of GTE, coordinator of South Indian Ethist Advisor, Tamil Nadu Principals Association, honorary advisory, SPPA converter, IEF, panelist, Bhishma Avari community. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. My big thanks to Mr. Dhanush for bringing me onto the wonderful, wonderful platform. And I was completely stunned since Himangi Arora has fired all its leaders. Yeah, what a wonderful idea she brought in. And first of all, kudos to you for bringing a blend of youth and experience. Probably it may be a debatable issue, but yes, now I've answered time. The thing is that when this unprecedented stint, we don't know what we are supposed to do. There are theories are there, fine. Contents are there, fine. But without the magic of engaging children, these theories and contents are simply useless. And she rightly put it. And you have talked about new education policy. I still remember during my college days and school days, I had a CBW, had plenty of periods for sports. The only difference is that in my days, probably in 70s, we do not have much of computing knowledge. But in spite of that, we were trained in a particular skill that was very much there. But now I can put it rightly, it is new wine in the old bottle. What they're trying to do that, they're trying to convert, yeah, they're bringing the new education policy, they say the sports should be considered as one main core subject, not as an exact subject. And again, when we talked about, I think Mr. Dhanush from South, you know very well, the parents over here, they think for the children, they should pursue only medicine and engineering, nothing else. And rightly put it by Himangi Arora again, and really appreciate that there are more than 70 entrance exams across India. It's not necessary you have to excel only in engineering and medical. There are various options too. And let them go for what we call business administration. Let them go for economics. Even in physics, they have geophysics. They have nanophysics. People are not trying for different branches. Why do they? So most of the children here, what I felt, I mean, since I've been handling the schools right from 1996 in South India, the parents are clueless sometimes. And the data is not that great. Now the world is looking for the paradigm shift from 2.0 to 4.0. And we are talking about CBL. Again, the same CBL we are talking now. But the only difference is that CBL is nothing but those days content-based learning. Now there's a slight change. You need to understand competency-based learning. When there's not a competency in you, when you're not inculcating that competency, we'll be a mere pushover. So in order to be a force to reckon with, we need to inculcate, we need to imbibe the true values of education. I remember there are many schools, even in some of the schools in North India, notice, they put that trademark as they follow Finnish methodology. You know, everyone aware of all those three systems. Finland, Singapore, and Netherlands. They are the best education system in the world, they say. They're talking about phenomena-based learning, team-based learning. It was very much in those days. But how many of you really incorporated in our daily, the teaching patterns? Our patterns need to be changed. My dear listeners and my dear participants, what I'm telling, unless you observe it, what is true teaching and true learning is all about. NEP or whatever the thing you're bringing in will become a mere theory. The question of bringing that vibrant young readers into the world is most important. And it's not an easy task, I understand. We have to start from scratch level. Now the people talk about 21st century learning. They talk about a lot of theories. They say there are 3 R's, 7 C's, and 3 M's. And you know pretty well, 7 C's. They talk about the critical thinking, creativity, communication, collaboration, cross-cultured understanding. This is most important these days. Now through webinar, we are talking about the different cultures. We are coming across that. We are able to connect with the students of different schools from different parts of the world. And computing technology, that's become the talk of the town. It's become the order of the day. The most needed nuances of modern learning methodology. Being an eager learner, being a modern learner, you have to inculcate all this kind of stuff into them. And career learning, of course, that goes without saying. And about 3 R's, even I noticed that the children they take the defeatism in them. 3 R's, resilient, reflective, risk-taking, resilient. When the things are out of the world, they think that, yes, they aim at a particular career. They're not able to perform. They think that is the end of the world. What they try to come out back like wounded tiger. I remember there are many cricketers being a national sport today. There was a famous cricketer called Mohidar Amarnath. You talk to the cricket fans, they say how many comebacks he had. I remember not less than a dozen. Whenever he underperformed, he's been thrown out. But it happens, you know, everyone one day will have a lean patch. It's not that he'll be always in a purple patch. It doesn't happen to everyone. You need to understand that. So as Himangi rightly told, we should not discard a child telling that he's a weak student. First of all, the word should be taken away from the dictionary. Weak children. No child is found to be very weak unless the mentor, I can put that rightly. Teachers are the mentors. Nowadays, we become a facilitator. We are not a mere teacher. We are a facilitator. You know, there's a Google mother. They know everything. They prepared well. And what I'm telling, what I feel strongly that yes, the self-learning is missing. The culture of self-learning is missing. This high time we have to teach the children what this self-learning is all about. We are expecting a good thing to happen. Yes, people are telling by December, Corona will be over. But there may be a new entry of another virus. Who knows? So we have to be ready for everything. So we have to have a blend of both online and offline learning. That's what people are talking about blended learning. The education is across the world. They talk about blended learning. As they rightly put it, artificial intelligence. Even they further classify into machine learning, deep learning, authentic learning. Where do you get all those learning styles? Unless as EDUPRENEUR, we don't realize it. Nothing is going to work out. We have to have a students community to have fire in the belly to perform. Otherwise, they'll get stuck somewhere. So we have to train them in a particular skills where they excel. We never do that. We enforce, right from the parents, from the teachers. We categorize the student. But that's the saying, some of the countries like Japan, as they rightly put it, we identify the children. That's why there are certain competitions called, even I conduct in my schools now. My school is in rural belt. But I never ever allow my children to feel inferior to them. It's in the hands of EDUPRENEUR. I'm really happy that Mr. Dhanush called me over for the platform, where it's been listened by many people, probably the pan-India. There are many schools, more than 80% of the schools are in rural area. Yeah, yes, computer technology, fine. But how far are we going to make it effective? Now, MHRD told very clearly, the screen time is to be minimized. By secondary, you make it 4 hours per day or 4 periods per day. For nursery and up to class primary, have only 2 hours per day, screen timing. So what I'm telling, what we did actually, I mean the recent date till date, just before the corona, that was the pattern system we can call it. The moment they come from the school, we never allow them to play. We right away to come home, we ask them to go for the tuition. There are even the prime minister go for the tuition. 3 years after that. Imagine, they are not machines. We are producing machines. Or people call it even scoring machines. That will never work out wonders in the world. Even at this age, I am above 60. I never feel that I'm over the hill. As far as I'm concerned, age is just a number. Sorry to say, comparing my personal experiences. But what I feel, there are young bloods are there in the top position. They are the leaders at the helm. What they're supposed to do, let them lead from the front. Let them not to panic. There are many situations bound to come. You know, people are talking about mad cow disease. They were talking about corona. There are many that's going to come. The plague that it was there. Everyone knows that. Of course, it's ill luck of us. But doesn't mean that we have to bow down to the pressure. We should not succumb to the pressure. Rather, there are many performers. They are the great heroes only because they perform the current situation. That's the beauty of it. And we have to taste success only at the face of the defeat. Here I'm telling, yes, I could see, even me. Now I am equipping myself with computer knowledge, what is computing is all about. As a leader, I should know that. I should monitor. I know you cannot replace the right classroom. But again, with available resources, rightly told, both by Mr. Dhanush and Himangi, we should harness the resources available. In economics, they say scarce resources. Scarcity. The physical presence of children are missing. We don't have a physical connectivity. Now we talk about as the 7 C's. I told you the critical thinking, creativity, communication, collaboration, cross-cultured understanding, computing technology, and career learning. I can add one more. Connectivity. Connectivity through, yes, net, IoT, Internet of Things. But, I mean, there is no doomsday. This is the thing we have to, it is a wake-up call for every one of us. People are talking about LSRW still. Then they're talking about STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Someone remodeled it. They started calling STEAM. They added art into it. But again, the theories are fine. That's what I'm telling you. The magic of engaging children, ACE, active classroom engagement, should happen. And I can redefine, reimagine success through grading and skills. Mindset, essential skills, and habits. It's based on 3 marvelous M: motivating, meaningful, and made for everyone. I've been attending various webinars on educational trends. They're talking about the inclusive education and the education for special children. The curriculum should be designed so that it suits everyone. Nothing should be neglected. And equity, as they rightly put it, the equal opportunity and equal framework should be given to all the children, irrespective of their disability or whatever may be. The similar policy, there were attempts made by Indian government to bring a complete system under a single umbrella. I'll recollect Kapil Sibal's policy, probably way back in 80s. He wanted to bring the complete system of education in India under a single umbrella. But it failed somewhere. Now they're given a new name called NEP. It's okay. But it will be FLC only when education is an EDUPRENEUR to realize in them rather than making a big hue and cry. So what's my advice to? I'm speaking from experience. It's not that I am the only educator. What I mean to say that There are young buds are coming into. We are infusing young blood into education system. So what they're supposed to do? Please bring the culture of that self-learning. The reading is fading away slowly. No reading takes place. The reading develops the children into a potential learner. We're going back again to LSRW skills. Listening, speaking, reading, writing. The writing is missing. Listening is missing. Of course, the children cannot listen more than 20, 25 minutes. Even the webinar is probably maybe 1 hour and 1 hour 10 minutes. More than that, no one will have the patience to listen. Again, I wind up by saying that by inculcating 7 C's, as I already told you, 3 R's, resilient, reflective, and risk-taking. We could see a tremendous potential when willing to take risk, rather he'll put it, raring to go. And 3M, motivating, meaningful, and made for everyone. The syllabus should be made for everyone. Should be meaningful. To suit the need of them. So appeal to each and every entrepreneur and education and even the agencies, external agencies. Yes, your theories, your tools are really fine, but please make it show that self-learning should take place. With that, we'll wind up. I'll go to the question session now. Yes, if anything to be added, I will add it later. Thank you, Mr. Dhanush.
That was really an amazing session, and that was really an amazing part, giving an information from your side. I really liked about that where you started from the South Indian. Yes, you're right. We were actually given just less opportunities, saying that engineering or a doctor or in the commerce field, like I have been mentioned before. As I am the person who is talking now is an engineer too. So this is how this has been happening, right, Date? This is happening just because uh, we're not into practical based learning. I would like to quote this down as you said, CBL, concept based learning. This has not been executing by particular schools and colleges. We are just sat down to hours of 9 to 5 in a particular school session just to turn the pages of a textbook which has been taught by a teacher, where we never knew, like mentioned by Himangi ma'am, none of the teachers have taken the initiative to show how prosperous is. None of the teachers have taken how this rusting take process, the chemical process, the toothpaste. It starts from the every day-to-day life, when it's including with every subject right day. And this has not been happening in the particular school, where all this is meant for practical based learning and moral based learning. We're all based and we're all depending on the theoretical, which is not going to happen in the next future days. As when the pandemic like this has been shown up, we're all left in trouble, saying that okay, you have to study and get your exams cleared. That is how I got engineered. That is how I graduated myself. This is what has been happening in nowadays of a particular Indian curriculum. And I have few questions for you. If the India stands the same way in the particular rules of the education, where would we stand? Because every graduate from IIT is moving back from India to some other foreign countries and getting settled. Then what is the use of them being studying in Indian Institute of Technology? I would like to question you about this.
Me, yeah. Simple word I can put it. We will be outclassed. So instead of inducting our own get into that, we don't understand the real value of our own potential. So there's no proper system. The system is missing. If you have a proper system, proper platform, I'm sure they will not go. But thanks to Corona, they are back to a pavilion again. I don't think so they'll go back into the different countries again. But sorry for the right side. But what I'm telling, we have to be very, very tactful. See, there was some counseling, career counseling, as Madam so rightly told. They were telling that there are some universities in Hong Kong which are listed top 3 among 10, top 10 or top 100 probably. They say Christ University in Bangalore stands 4th in India. The ranking, everything is good. But there are possible dark horses. There are institutions which are bound to produce excellent students or excellent future leaders we are missing. Again, the system should be there. We are not supposed to permit our own child to go out. We cannot force them, but giving them a proper platform so that they can be retrained. We are losing our own values. They have graduation here and they do the service for other countries. I'm not I'm not against any foreign policy, but what I mean to say that, so you know that very pretty well. In Singapore, after completing higher education, you should serve Singapore Army for 2 years minimum. They never let you out. So that kind of some code of discipline should be brought in. So instead of going for all NEP, why can't we go for the system wherein we can retrain our own bunch of talented children? And Dhanush, you are working here at what is the Planet Waste. You are not doing any of the foreign country, no? You are doing a wonderful job. There are many talented guys, young aspirants are ready to go. They're really good at it. But again, you see, those who are excelling in American markets or anything, IT industries, all are of Indian origin. Probably the money matters. Money matters there. But again, bring in more system here, and we are going to be a developed country. Now we are a developing country, but will be a developing country. Probably the population explosion will curtailed to some extent. That is my plain answer. Nothing else I could say. We should not be outnumbered, or outclassed, or outfeatured. The only thing we have to retain our own potential within our country, have for more industries, more platforms. That is the only thing I can say.
Yes,
Thank you.
for sure. Yes, for sure, sir. And that was really amazing to hear about this particular. You mentioned about the India being the developing country. Yes, I agree. And yes, all the IITs and all the people who went back to the foreign countries to make some money into their pockets, they're back to pavilion to serve their own country. I wish they don't go back and serve a country, getting to the perfect base where saying that where India is standing first right here. I would really say very proud being an Indian. And I want every IIT, and not only about IITs, every other respective college, every other engineer, when they sit and work down for serving their country, I am sure we will be the topmost in every perspective or every sector. I would like to repeat this once again. And coming back to the particular topic, you being as a Korean Principals Association, you being one of them, and you're also director for so many stuff. How has this pandemic of COVID impacted on all these principals and the education sector?
Beautiful question. Now, the role of principals, I'm sorry to say, as per CBSE norms, wherever you go, anywhere in India, I don't know about North India, but South, especially in Tamil Nadu, I noticed our principals are not given a free hand. They are here only to monitor the teachers, or they are asked to collect the fees. I'm sorry to say, I'm really sorry to say that. But what can't help it. Now, I think Himai Madam also will accept with me. Most of the schools they're not paying salary to the teachers. Some schools they're paying only 20%, 30%, 40%. Sorry, I'm not talking about the money, but money is not the only factor. It's one of the factors. You're not keeping the teachers comfortable. They're not able to perform. Pay them at least. I've seen one of the PT ma'am. Yesterday I met one PT ma'am. She has completed MBA and she's a middle distance, inter-university bronze medalist. Being a National Sports Day. And I think today, when the moment Hemang Yarora ma'am told, January, remember, okay, today is National Sports Day. Dayan Chand, the famous hockey player, the hockey wizard, his birthday. So, when I asked her, she's working for a small layman work, 200 rupees per day. I asked her what happened. That people told me, my school, they asked me to go. They asked me to rejoin back in the month of December. Now she is jobless. As Madam told rightly, we can go for some sports activity even through webinar. We can teach them what is yoga is all about. It can be used. And principals know, over the forum, I'm telling them, talk about self-learning, talk about everything, will bring some interest among the students. They are all worrying about salary package and everything. There's a time. Even I think the open forum, I can say there are schools here. They make they make the principals as puppets. There are really vibrant principals. They have a lot of ideas, potential, but they're not able to perform. Even I told him very clearly, wherever the school walked in, I told him very clearly, I'll come and work. You allow my system to function in here. So I cannot I'm going to have some dramatic change, but I'll bring in a constructive changes. One fine day will come and say, if you're not performing well, I'll say goodbye, I'll go out. Because as a leader, we are supposed to bring the changes there, constructive changes, not against damage the reputation of a school. But here the corona time, yes, the very challenge here, I don't know how do you believe it or not, most of the children, they do not have proper facility. Even Android phone, they do not have it. Reaching them is a big task. Imagine a middle class employee will have a single phone, probably 1 GB per day. You may have 3 children at home. The same time, the timetable is put such a way in most of the leading schools. I don't want to name the schools, reputed schools. There's a competition among them who will conduct more number of classes. That's the immaturity came that very clearly told them. They were keep their foot very strong and telling that not to have more than 2 to 3 periods per day. But they want to have a 7 periods, 6 periods in a day. And imagine the single phone, how 2 child and 3 child can study. And one is different of complete chances. And what happened now, to add to the woe, now they're adding assessment, online assessment. The children are completely under tremendous pressure. And what the parents will do, and most of them are earning on the road, self-employed. Where will they go now? They have been shut. They remain indoor. Financially, they are being hit very badly. Again, the net, of course, digital learning is fine. Very nice to hear from all of you. But how far it is affecting in India? More than 80% of the population is rural area. Luckily, Tamil Nadu government and some of the government, even Indian government, they are bringing classes through TV. But again, that we have to have all the channels again. Given to various channels. But one TV only they have, no? They have 2 to 3 children. How can they watch through the same TV, same time? Now they have to chop out the program and everything. But again, we cannot blame them always. Something drastic has to be done. So what among our principals we spoke, we have chopped out the program. Yes, thinking that, yes, we can have a timetable properly so the child should not be affected. The family which has more than 3 to 4 children, they are the worst affected. Financially, they are not able to give them a proper education. Be it on, at least in the classroom, they are able to teach them. But imagine on online classroom, we are not able to teach them. This is the biggest challenge we face. Thank you.
That was really an educative statements about the particular principles issues which has been happening, and that is also been shocking about the thing you said. Yes, it's actually happening because we are of a developing country consisting of almost many of them as a middle class families, and each family is suffering to get into the education stream, and we're not getting any family is now getting into any fee concession too. We're paying more, sitting at home, getting low quality education. Where is our education system standing in this? I really have a lot of questions been waiting around, but that was really amazing to have a conversation with you. So that was I'm so glad to have you on a platform of Planet Tech Media House. Thank you so much. And now getting back to another session.
Thank you.
Getting back, as I mentioned, for Himangi ma'am and Balchandra sir, they'll be having a surprise session where the session we'll be having a rapid fire question round. Rapid fire question. I guess you both know how does a rapid fire works. I'll be asking you a question and you have to tell the first thing came to your mind. The first thing in a one-word answer. Okay, so?
Yeah.
Just a one-word answer. The question will be asked now, and the game starts in 3, 2, 1. Sir, what is your favorite hobby?
Hockey. Sports,
Very
I mean.
good. Ma'am, your biggest addiction?
I didn't get you.
Your biggest addiction?
My addiction. My addiction is children.
Wow,
I
amazing.
can't stay without them. I
Sir,
can't.
sir.
I go low, genuinely low, if I can't see my students.
That's amazing. Okay, sir, for you, whom are you getting inspired with?
Yes, sir, please. Yeah. I'm not getting it clearly.
Whom are you inspired of? Your inspiration.
Yeah, Diane Chand again. Diane Chand, the famous hockey player.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. And ma'am, where do you want to retire if you get a chance to?
Where do I go? I want to retire if I get a chance to. If I have to retire ever, I would love to retire in some rural part of my country where I can get a chance to meet hundreds, thousands, lakhs of children and train the rest of the ladies to teach and educate them.
That is really amazing. That is amazing.
Sorry,
And
sorry
sir,
to interrupt.
yes, sir.
In that case, I'll invite Hima and Garuda to my place. You want to settle down,
I
retire
would
at a rural
love
area,
to
no?
retire
Someone-
today itself then.
And now, sir, you're a morning person or night person?
Yeah.
Morning
What is
person or night person?
I'm not getting it, sir. Sorry, there is some interruption. Yeah.
Yes. Are you a morning person or a night person?
I'm a morning person.
And are you a leader or a follower?
It's a for a leader, I need to be a follower.
What annoys you?
Yes?
What
Yes,
what
yes.
are you irritated of?
Irritated of
Yeah.
laziness.
What are you afraid of?
Afraid of the recent education system.
Wow. Greatest achievement?
Yes, I'm continuing to be a principal even after my retirement.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. One person whom would you like to take back to Mars if you get a ticket?
It has to be my wife because she has been always with me, supporting me throughout my life. Sometimes, yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
she has been playing second fiddle to me sometimes. So
Oh, that's amazing. Now, ma'am, what scares you?
What scares me?
Oh,
I think nothing.
um, okay. What confuses you?
People's tendency to show the righteousness in spite of the fact that they don't even know about it.
Amazing. What will you never do?
What will I never do? I will never say never.
What challenges you?
What challenges me?
Yes.
I think the flock of sheep behind me, because I am not afraid of things.
Good. Biggest strengths?
And pardon?
Biggest strengths?
sense.
Strengths?
Biggest strength. I think my strength is I tend to bounce back. I
Now-
get back to everything.
One last question. Money, laugh, live, love. Which one would you choose?
Money, laugh, live, love. I think if I'm laughing, I'll get everything. So I'll choose laughing.
Amazing, amazing. And I think it's time to wind up the session. I hope the speakers had very good fun and they really gave a very good interactive and informative and educative session on the role of edupreneur. If the speakers want to say something?
Yeah, I'd like to add up once again
Yes, sir.
a simple slogan. It's a blend of youth and experience. And my appeal to every young leader, edu leaders, or even the people, those who feel they are over the hill. Simple slogan. Together towards tomorrow. To achieve the goal, which is meant for the great ambience for true learning to take place.
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. That was really an amazing quote. For the one last thing, that was actually energetic. Thank you so much for, I would hereby conclude the session saying that it was a very good session. And I really thank Dr. Balachandran sir and Himagi Arora ma'am for giving your valuable time, spending with Planetech Media House and Danush Devang, giving an interactive, informative and educative session on the webinar of role of an EDUPRENEUR. That was really amazing. And thank you so much. We're really glad to have you on the planet of Planetech Media House. Thank you so much. Signing out.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dhanush. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so very much, sir.